go ahead, Jim.
Oh, we're talking other stuff. You can, I guess I should probably get this stuff up on the screen now.
Yeah.
Good evening. It is now 7:30. It is October the 16th. I'd like you to please stand for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we're meeting here tonight to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please.
Lorraine.
Present.
Shoemaker. Present. Mathis.
Here.
Krug is present. Kessler. Here. Gopel.
Here.
Tucker.
Present.
You have a full board.
All right. Well, there's no members in the audience. Excuse me, there is. But we're televised, and you can get us on channel 191. Approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? I have two issues. In the audience is Will Stiverson, and Will wants to talk about the bond issue for Lake Fenton. And then I would like to, I know all of you receive information about the water tower through Mr. Lawrence, and I'd like a little discussion on that. If not, we can do it at another time. So I need a motion in order to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Included in the packet are the minutes for the October 2nd regular meeting. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes?
I wasn't here, don't look at me.
All right. The meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Expenditures. Are there any questions regarding any of the expenditures that are in front of you?
There's a reimbursement for meals at a educational thing. How many days is that for?
I think those girls stayed up here. Tom, was it 4 or 5 days?
It was pretty much the whole week.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And it's something that is, I mean, that's for the assessors is what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't want to be, I just, but it's like, I forgot the number, 152 or something. If it was a day, I would probably
No.
say we need to take a look at that. But if we're talking a week here, I certainly have. no
Yeah, it was the
objection to
week,
that.
and they bring in the invoices to me and the bills, and then we check them out, and then we put them in for approval.
Cool beans.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify that the dog park expenditures come out of the separate account.
Coming out of what?
The separate account.
Correct.
Okay?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
one of
yeah.
the.
Just
well,
clarification.
There were two like different checks. One of them specifically says right on it. The other one doesn't for reasons I can't
That's why I asked.
understand. But
Oh, a long time
meant to
ago,
ask the
it
same
stated,
thing, so, yeah.
when you changed it
Yeah,
over.
they're all supposed to say that.
Yeah.
There was the fence for.
The fence might not have had it.
The fence installation
She
one was the
did it
one that
real
didn't.
fast,
Okay. No problem.
but we have issued 3 checks for the fence, for the starting of the sign.
Mhm.
So, and, geez, what's the third?
In the well?
And,
No?
no, can't think of what the third one was, but,
Gates.
oh, it was the Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
We made the hot lines. They
Yeah.
wondered why we hadn't,
Where's the park? Yeah, it's-
October
Well,
1 was
October
our
1,
date. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Have
Come on,
any-
Bob, where's the
Have
park?
any of you
Well,
gone
you
and
know,
saw it?
I
mean,
checked,
saw
and
Absolutely, I
didn't see
walked
that
it this
person's
weekend.
name on the donation list.
Is
I think
that funny?
it's improved in the last
Oh, it's beautiful.
3 weeks.
It's
A
absolutely
lot of work's
beautiful.
been done.
A man came in today, he was gonna be here this evening, talk to Mr. Krug, because he's a bird hunter, and he wanted to take his dogs out into the park, but he wasn't sure if he could use it yet. But he said, I got a younger dog and I'm training him and I want him to run in that area, so, nice, that's a nice,
I mean, for people like that gentleman, we have that real long field and a couple others. Why not?
Oh, it's gonna be wonderful. All right, we went ahead and accepted the meeting minutes, expenditures. Are there any questions regarding any of these? And so far, no.
Well, we just talked about a couple of them, but
Yeah. A motion is in order to approve the expenditures totaling $442,303.90. Public hearings, none. Reports, Mr. Syverson.
You gotta vote on
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
expenditures.
The motion.
yeah, I'll make the motion.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mathis?
Yes.
Kessler?
Yes.
Shoemaker?
Yes.
Gopel?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, I put Mr. Stuyvesant in regard to the bond issue under reports, and then it'll be the chief for his fire report.
Mike's on, right? It's been a little while since
Is there a blanket light?
First off, I want to thank all of you for allowing me to speak. I represent the Vote Yes for Kids Committee for our Lake Fenton bond issue that we hope will be successful. All of you should have flyers that pretty much explain everything that we're looking or asking for. And just to clarify, this bond issue is not going to be a new tax. We currently have a bond that we're already getting paid on that have covered expenditures that expires in 2021. It will be extended into 2024 if this bond issue passes. We are looking to raise an additional $11,755,000 that will be broken up into two series to help with our interest costs, so we won't have to ask for as much money. And what this bond issue is going to do is to cover a plethora of things, some of which are infrastructure improvements. If you look in the middle page of your brochure, it gives the details per building of what we're looking to do. At West Shore, we're looking to add air conditioning, replace doors, windows, and classroom cabinets, add access control and security cameras. Some of these things we're going to have on all of the schools, and replace the aging boiler and fire safety system. We're also adding air conditioning to Torrey Hill, if approved. Replace the complete water treatment system, classroom carpets, cabinets, add security cameras, and replace the fire safety system. Some of the things are a little different though with the middle school, which is the old high school right off of North Long Lake Road. They're going to replace the aging roof. I know from being on various committees with Lake Fenton over the years that the roof has been consistently an issue since I was in high school there years ago. Remodel the toilet rooms, replace musical instruments. It's my understanding that the band directors and all of the teachers have been trying to do whatever they can to maintain these instruments as long as they can. It's just getting to the point where they can't do it anymore. Replace the locker rooms, and the locker rooms they're talking about are the girls' locker rooms that are underneath the bleachers in the in the basketball courts. And then of course add security cameras. They're going to replace the water treatment system at the high school. They're also looking at replacing the roof, which is approximately 15 years old. Musical instruments. They're going to upgrade the auditorium sound system and lighting. Another thing that they're looking at doing and they want to do is add a synthetic turf to the high school. And the reason why they're doing it is the bleachers at the middle school have been condemned, and to replace them I think is going to cost approximately $300,000. And what they would ideally like to do is have all of the games of the school district, which they can do with scheduling, at the high school, and use the field at the middle school only as a practice field. So there wouldn't be any necessary need for the bleachers. And in addition to that, the turf over time does not cost as much money to maintain, and so that's why they want to go with that. Again, they want to increase security cameras and security at the high school, and that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions?
I guess I have a couple. Well, synthetic turf, high school.
Yes.
Most colleges, pro football fields are going back to natural grass to reduce injuries. Why would we now be looking at an artificial turf surface?
That's a question I'll have to get an answer for you
All right,
later.
and the second one is, I thought that the middle school has already incorporated air conditioning in their remodeling, that they're.
No, that's
already-
not, no, that's
It's
not
not
been
done?
part of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's my 2 questions.
But they did put the new windows in, the middle school.
some of them, yes.
Yeah.
I thought, so it's not been already.
Well, they're not,
most
no,
of
they're
the-
not putting,
Most of the work for air conditioning has been done, from what I understand.
they're not putting, well, they do not have, no, they do not have air conditioning at the middle school, and I can tell you that because my son goes there, and he actually missed school one day because he had a headache that was so bad from the heat the day before. And in fact, when we pray before he goes to bed, and he prayed to God that we could get air conditioning for the school, so I assure you, I know there is no air conditioning, at least where he's at, in the middle school, so.
Okay.
So it's not windows, excuse me, it is not windows for all of the, it's just for West Shore that they're replacing the windows.
Yeah, yeah.
Any other questions?
And you want to tell them the date, what the date is, the voting and the
So
time?
the election will be held on November 7th. It will be at the high school. As you know, all of your voting precincts are at the high school.
Yep.
And we, like I said, we really appreciate your time. Fenton Township comprises most of the Lake Fenton School District. We've got a little bit in Grand Blanc and Mundy. So, but Fenton Township does cover the biggest footprint for Lake Fenton.
Okay.
And all of you, I believe, I don't know, Mr. Belzer, if you live in the school district, but I know the rest of you do, so.
He moved out here, yes.
Oh, so are you in the school district?
I believe so.
So hopefully we get some more votes now after I've been here. We know Chief is, I hope.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other questions?
No, we just got to get the people out there to vote. And then
Okay.
you're going to start seeing signs going up.
Yes, we're gonna be working on that on Wednesday, so, yes. Good. So thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you, Will. All right. Chief Bowles, would you like to come up and give your third quarter report, please?
Absolutely. Third quarter report for fire calls in Fenton Township. We've had 7 fires, 137 EMS calls, 9 hazardous conditions, 14 service calls, 13 good intent calls, and 10 false alarms. And in Tyrone Township, which is also included in those numbers, which was 190 alarms, we've had 21 alarms in Tyrone Township in the third quarter, 13 of them EMS, 5 of them hazardous conditions, 2 of them service calls, and 1 is a good intent call.
When is our contract up with Tyrone?
We just renewed it.
For how many years?
Wouldn't they have
Two,
about
Tom?
2 more years?
Are we doing 2-year contracts now, Tom?
I'm just gonna look it up.
How is that working out for us, Chief?
Good?
Yeah? No issues whatsoever?
No? I mean, it works out good for us. It's the southern border of the township, and it's easy access to get to. It's a rather small area that we cover anyway. It's up to Center Road. So it's expressway to the west, Center Road. So it's a pretty small area.
I'm just asking because, I wanna put our residents first and, we've gotta,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a detriment to the thing, maybe it's something we should reconsider, but if it's going smooth and, we're breaking even on the cost, not making money, but not losing money on.
Well, it's one of the beauties of having 2 stations too. Our Station 2's actually geographically located, pretty
Sure,
close to it. So
absolutely.
if we have a call down there, which we've had, and we've had a call go up here, then we send, we split the stations up and run different calls. So it works out.
Great.
Looks like it's a 3-year.
Is it 3-year?
16 to 19. Yep, through March 31st of 19.
So we're halfway through it.
Oh, what did you say, Tom?
March 31st of 2019 is what it is.
29, okay, 2 years, yeah.
So it
Okay.
was a 3-year contract. It was over a year ago that we entered into it.
Okay. And it'll have to be adjusted because Tyrone population has grown.
Well, it adjusts with, it adjusts annually, so we get our, what do we have in there for the fuel increase and everything else, so. And plus, if we go over our fuel for the year, if we have more calls than we've been planned for, there's adjustments in there too.
On Old 23, right by the mobile home park, that's by Old 23, there's still a fire hall there, isn't there?
That's Heartland's Deerfield Station 3.
Heartland's,
Heartland
okay.
Station 3.
All right, right on the
So that's
corner.
actually Parcelville Road. We used to run all the way up to that road.
Yeah,
And then they, with the contract switches and all that, Heartland took over like Lake Shannon area and that part.
good, yeah. Any other questions to the chief? I just want to tell you, we had a bad accident here on Thursday, and to see our police and our fire department and the paramedics and everything, how they worked, it was unbelievable.
It was a great group effort. Considering the conditions, I mean, even with the sheriff's department being there as quick as they were, it, you know,
It was a terrible thing, but
it was a terrible thing to happen, but I mean, we all worked as a group and got done what we need to get done.
We even used the divers.
Yep.
Yep, even the divers. So, any other questions? All right, thank you. The next item on the agenda is Code Enforcement Officer Pat Shaw. Pat is new. This is his third quarter report. You have this letter in your packet, and I'll read a few things of it. During the third quarter of September the 12th, I took on the position of Code Enforcement Officer, and it has been as smooth of a process as I could have hoped for. Being familiar with the township and even many of its residents, it has been very successful. Dog control, junk vehicle complaints have been the two most popular topics since I've been here. All are in the process. Then he said Lake Benema Mobile Home Park continues to receive negative attention, which I am no stranger to. Pat Shaw's been an officer in the township 13 years, maybe, Tom?
12 or 13.
12 or 13 years. And to be able to bring him in as a past officer has been really, really great. The people really like it. And at the very first, he'd go out on a call without his uniform, and the people would look at him, because he's a big guy, and say, "Don't I know you?" And he said, "Yeah, I've been here, many times," or whatever. But they like it. They like having him there. Very calm gentleman, and he does an extremely good job. So we gave a report as far as each officer has certain things, code enforcement officers, certain things that they do more than the others, but his is going right down the line. Some of the violations are tall grass, blight, building code, dangerous building. We do have a dangerous building in effect right now. Dog control, junk vehicles. And then we're cutting down on, for some reason, the signs. Although the same guys, the boat shrinking, he's up and around. And Ryan's already gone. He's the guy that goes and puts them up on the telephone poles up so high that the chief has to go down, and he does it every year, and he puts them in with big screws. But anyway, it's working, and Shaw has brought the people into his office and talked to them, and then he comes into the meetings with the zoning administrator. He's learning a whole different thing. So, the next item, are there any committee reports to be made to the board from any of your committees? Genesee County Recycle Day. Now, this recycle is going to be at Bentley High School and also the Water Service Center on Dorrit Highway. Water Service Center, Court Street. So it's a distance. We're gonna post this, it's posted upstairs anyway, up at the front door, and then we on the front counter. But if you do have things to recycle, the date is Saturday, October the 21st, from 10 to 2. And they will give you curb service if you come and you have things and you can't get them out of your car or truck. They will help you do that. So if you're interested, just call in at the township and get one of these brochures. Adoption of ordinances. Now I'm going to have Attorney Belzer talk about this, because when Jack first came into the position of attorney, he looked at some of our ordinance and says, you need some help on some of these things. And so he discussed the different ones, and so far we've got 2 of them going. The first one is proposed amendment to a vehicle code ordinance to adopt the updated version of the Michigan Vehicle Code. Jack, do you want to talk about
This
this?
is just, you know, for the introduction, and I talked to Mr. Broker, he caught some confusion that may be created, so I need to reword something, but this is just for introduction. And one of the big things that comes about in the new motor vehicle code edition is the allowance of individuals to solicit, you know, the Knights of Columbus, the Old Newsboys, individuals like that are charitable organizations as defined by statute, and they can go on the roadway and solicit. Prior to this, nobody bothered them, but really it wasn't legal.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's the main thing why we need to re-adopt all this. And I'm gonna reword a couple things that Tom mentioned to me, and then it'll come before you at the next meeting for
Okay.
adoption.
All right, any questions, gentlemen? All right, the next one is proposed, now this one is the first reading. The second reading will be on November the 6th on this one. The proposed amendment to grading ordinance, and this is done when a person is doing a new build or has an addition on the house, the grading plan, final grading plan before a C of O. Very, very important. I will let Jack,
I
Oh, you
didn't draft
don't-
this.
No,
I
Jack
don't-
doesn't have this one.
okay, I can
Well,
tell. Go ahead.
I actually drafted the amendment.
Okay,
What we found, the ordinance had a couple of requirements. One was a foundation certificate, and one was as-built prints that were required under our ordinance. And what we found was that maybe only 1 out of every 5 or 6 really needed either of those things, and was gonna needlessly throwing fees at our people building homes. And so we talked to the engineer and came up with some language that says that in each case, a foundation certificate may be required by the township as determined by the engineer, and as-built plans may be required by the township as determined by the engineer. And then if so required, then we still have the same requirements we had before. But now we have the option of waiving those or not requiring them if they feel they're just simply not necessary. So
okay.
it just kind of cleans up and actually just reflects what we've really been doing.
All right, and any questions in regards to that? All right, the next reading will be on November the 6th, board meeting. And then, remember, gentlemen, it's going to be a short meeting because of the election, okay?
We'll be here till breakfast.
All
after
right.
that comment.
Unfinished business, none. New business, proposed special levies and miscellaneous special assessments. 2017 property tax roll. Included in the packet are the listings of the special levies and miscellaneous special assessments for the 2017 winter property tax roll. The tax collection levy remains unchanged at 141. That is your garbage. The mosquito is going to be reduced $20. The majority of the special assessments are street lights and private road maintenance. Each assessment, and this goes through Mr. Broker, is reviewed and adjusted each year based on the actual and projected costs. Is there any board discussion in regards to that? Okay, I need a motion to approve 2017 special levies and miscellaneous special assessment as presented.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Shoemaker,
Yes.
Gopel?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Kessler?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mathis?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Board comment. Are there any other comments from the members of the board?
Just one thing I'd like to point out, if you were in the mood to help support the Lake Fenton Education Foundation, this Friday, the 20th, there's what we refer to as the fifth quarter at the golf course on Torrey Road. It's normally a fun time. There will be snack foods and a open bar, but you pay for it.
Unlike Southwest.
Yeah, a lot like Southwest.
So you said Friday?
Yes, and it usually starts about 9:30, right after the football game. Normally, it's after homecoming, but we were unable to get the building last week. So,
Okay, any other board comments? All right, any public comment? If none, I will say good evening. The meeting's adjourned. This is great.